I'm Chloe Hough, ERS Wellness Director. Welcome to Wellness Wednesday. Hi everyone, today we're going to work through our Dirty Dozen workout. So it's called Dirty Dozen because you're going to be doing 12 repetitions of 5 different exercises. We have a seated version and a standing version. You can do what suits you best. So your goal is to go through each of those exercises, complete 12 repetitions, take a rest break, whatever that rest break looks like for you, and then you'll complete those 12 repetitions again. The whole fun part of the Dirty Dozen is that you're going to time yourself working through those 2 rounds of 12 repetitions. Remember that time, write it down somewhere, because later on, maybe a couple days later in the week, you're going to repeat that same exact 5 exercises, 12 repetitions each with the break in between 2 rounds, and see if you can complete it faster while still maintaining that proper form and being safe. So you'll get to see how you grow in strength as you improve that time, and you can always modify by cutting back the repetitions, or you can advance it by, instead of doing 12 repetitions total, doing 12 repetitions each leg if the exercise is unilateral. Give it a try. I hope you have some fun with it. Hi everyone. So the first exercise of our Dirty Dozen is going to be a leg extension. So we're seated in our chair, and because we're doing a leg extension, you can scoot back to the back of your seat, but you don't want to lounge in your chair. You still want to sit up nice and tall. So we're doing 12 repetitions here, hence the Dirty Dozen. We're going to pick a leg to start with, and we're going to alternate throughout. So choosing which leg you want to start with, we're going to extend that knee, kick the toes up to the ceiling, squeezing that thigh muscle, and come down. Then we're going to go to the other side, extend the knee, toes to the ceiling, squeeze that thigh. We're going to continue to alternate. And you want to really accentuate that squeeze here. That's what makes that muscle do a little bit of extra work. Now, if you want to modify this, maybe you start with 12 repetitions total, so 1, 2, 3, 4. If you want more of a challenge, you can do 12 repetitions each leg. 1, 1, 2, 2. You can always modify as needed. Maybe you start with 6 repetitions and gradually grow your way up to 12. Just be sure you listen to your body. Our second exercise in our Dirty Dozen is going to involve working our chest muscles. So we're going to stay seated in our chair, but we want to be scooted up towards the front because we're going to lean back to rest on the back of the chair. Now we're not lounging. We still want to try to maintain a flat back. We're going to use some light hand weights. If you don't have hand weights at home, totally fine. You can use soup cans or maybe like a more substantial, heavier book, but the weight is up to you, so listen to your body. We're going to take one weight in each hand, and then we're going to lean back to rest on the back of that seat. I'm not lounging. I want to keep that flat back. Hands on either side. We're not pressing overhead, we're pressing like in line with our nose. So we're going to press forward, full extension as best you can, and then come back in. So exhale when you press, inhale when you come back in. Again, we're looking for that 12, but if 12 is too much for you to get started, you can always start with 6 and build your way up. Remember to listen to your body. You don't want to complete any movements that cause pain. Exercise number 3 in our Dirty Dozen is a seated march. We want to sit in a nice sturdy chair, and we want to sit up towards the edge of it so we can give ourselves some more room to work. We're going to maintain a nice tall posture, and then we're going to choose which leg we want to start with. We're going to drive that knee up as high as we can, like we're going to touch it to our nose. So whichever knee you want to start with, you're going to drive up, come down, then the other leg, drive up, come down. You're going to keep repeating that alternating knee drive. You can go 12 each leg for more of a challenge, or 12 repetitions total. If you'd like an additional challenge, you can add an opposite arm. So opposite arm comes up with opposite leg. It's going to engage your core muscles a little bit more and make it more of a total body effort. Always listen to your body. Don't complete any movements that cause pain. Our fourth exercise in our Dirty Dozen are what I call butterflies. They're going to work our posture muscles in our upper back. We're going to stay seated in our chair, but we want to stay nice and tall in order to target those posture muscles. We're going to take our hands and we're going to place them behind our head. We're not pulling on our neck. They're just like barely touching our head. From here, we're going to close those elbows. We're going to try to bring them together as best you can. And then we're going to open them up as far as you can. So open, open, open. Squeeze those shoulder blades when you pull them apart. And then you try to bring them back together as close as you can each time. So we're looking for 12 repetitions of these. If that seems like it's too much, you can drop it down to 6 and build up from there. Really accentuate your squeeze on the back side. If you don't feel those muscles working by the 12th repetition, that means we need to open up that range of motion a little bit more. As always, listen to your body. Don't push through any movements that are uncomfortable. Our 5th exercise for our Dirty Dozen is called figure eights. So we're going to sit nice and tall at the edge of our seat. I'm using a light hand weight. If you don't have a hand weight at home, you can use a soup can or a book, something that's got a little bit of weight, but not too much. If you have bad shoulders, you might start this exercise with no weight at all and just use your body weight. So for our figure eights, we're going to bring that weight out front. We're sitting tall with our belly button pulled in towards our spine, and we're going to literally draw a figure eight with this weight. So we're going to come up and rotate around, and then up and rotate around. Notice my torso is following my hands. Up and rotate, up and rotate. This is going to be a challenging one for your shoulders, so be sure you listen to your body. Don't push through any pain. You're going to do 12 of those figure eight drawings. If that's too much, start with 6 and you can always build your way up. Hi everyone. The first exercise of our standing exercises for our Dirty Dozen is going to involve our hip. We're going to do a little bit of an open and close motion here. Because we're standing and we don't want to worry about balance, we're going to have something sturdy nearby. I've got a chair. You could always use a countertop, something that's not going to move on you. So we're going to pick a leg. I would say the leg that's furthest from the object you're standing near, just so you've got some range of motion here. We're going to lift that leg up. So we're bringing that knee up, kind of like that thigh is parallel to the floor. So from here, we're going to open up that knee to the side, opening up that hip, and then coming back in. We're going to repeat that movement 12 times. Now these are advanced because they're standing. If you'd like to modify, you can always open, put a foot down, and then when you close, put a foot down in between, just to give yourself a little break, especially if you're feeling uncertain in your balance. So you're going to go 12 on one leg, then you'll go 12 on the other leg. If that's too much, you can always modify by doing 6 repetitions and building up over time. Remember, we don't want to push that hip through any pain, so listen to your body and do the range of motion that's appropriate for you. Hi everyone, we're going to do our second exercise in our Dirty Dozen. It's a standing march. You want to be near something that's nice and sturdy, like a chair or a countertop, in case you need to put your hand on something, or you have the option to leave your hand on it the whole time. Totally up to you. So we're going to add an opposite arm raise with our knee drive for this march. So decide which leg you want to start with. We're going to drive that knee up as high as you can. Arm's going to come up. Doesn't have to come too high, maybe face level. Come back down. Then we're going to switch other arm and other leg. Come back down. We're going to keep alternating. And you can either do 12 repetitions total or 12 each side if you want more of that challenge. Now, I want you to listen to your body. Don't push yourself through a range of motion that you're not comfortable with. And if you start to feel like you're becoming unsteady, just put your hand on that object and stop where you are and reset. Give it a try, see how it feels. Our third exercise in our Dirty Dozen, it's a leg curl, and it's going to focus on the hamstrings, those large muscles on the back of the leg. So we're going to need a sturdy object like a chair or a countertop, and we're going to turn and face that object. We're going to bend at the knee and curl our heel up towards our bum, squeezing that muscle on the back of our leg and then coming back down. So I'll show you what that looks like. I'm going to turn to face my object. I'm nice and tall. Pick a leg to start with. We're going to curl our heel up towards our bum, squeeze that hamstring, come back down, and then we're going to come up and work the other side. You want to keep nice form. If you can't feel that on the back of your leg, that means somehow our form's fallen apart. I also like to pull my toe up towards my shin before I curl, and that can kind of accentuate that nice squeeze on the back of the leg. So we're looking for 12 repetitions. So you can either do 12 total, or if you'd like to advance it, you can do 12 each leg. If that's too much, always start lower, maybe 6 repetitions, grow it from there. If you start to cramp up on the back of that leg, take a break, wait for that to dissipate, and then continue on. Don't try to push through that cramp, it'll just make it worse. As always, listen to your body. Our next exercise for our Dirty Dozen, the standing options. This one's for our upper body, and it's definitely more of an advanced exercise, so please listen to your body as you work through this. We're going to be doing some push-ups, modified. So we're going to have an object. I'm going to use a chair. You can also use a countertop, or you can also use a wall, whichever height is appropriate for you. The lower the object is, the more challenging this exercise is going to be, so keep that in mind. All we're going to do is turn to face that object, and then I'll walk you through it. So, facing that object, arms out straight. We're going to have our feet away from that object, so we're at an angle. More challenging will be feet further back, less challenging will be feet closer in. Now, I'm using a chair. I'm making sure to use a chair without wheels so it doesn't roll away from me. Make sure it's a substantial chair because you're going to be pushing on it. You don't want it to scoot away from you. So, arms are straight. We're going to bend at the elbows to lower our chest down, and then we're going to push back out to straight arms. Do what range of motion works for you. Maybe you just do a half one and press back out. And then you can always grow it to the full. Okay? So, 12 repetitions. That might feel like a lot, so you can always start with 6, build your way up to 12. As always, listen to your body, take breaks if you need to, don't push through any pain.
That was great.
Hi everyone, our last exercise for our standing Dirty Dozen is a little bit more advanced, so you're going to need a chair, but we are going to be standing, so don't worry. So, we're going to control our seat down, and then we're going to pop right back up to a standing position. These are called chair stands. You can use your hands if you need to. If you can go without your hands, then go without. That's going to advance the exercise a little bit more. So the key for going down is control. You want to control it down to that seat, no plopping. And then you're going to push through to stand up nice and tall. You can always use your hands to find the chair if you need to before you sit down. So big explosive movement up, nice and slow and controlled down. We're looking for 12 repetitions on these. You can always take a break. Maybe you do 6, take a rest, then do the last 6. If 12 is asking too much, start with 6 and build your way up. If you use an assistive device at home, you can always put that walker out in front of you so you have that to put a hand on when you stand, or set your chair in front of a countertop so you've got something that you can steady yourself with once you're up at the top.